What's going on? You're listening to the You Want It, You Got It podcast. Today we are live streaming for the first off, this is the first time we're live streaming. So if you're out there listening and watching, we're on YouTube and on Instagram. So like they always say, hit the bell, like and subscribe and all that fancy shit. But today, yeah, over there where John's pointing, down there, yeah, somewhere. Today I am talking with the boys from Goof, Ahmed and John. What is going on, gentlemen?
Let's fucking go!
Let's fucking go!
We were talking about some Metallica earlier, yeah.
Dun,
Dun, dun, dun, dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun,
dun.
Oh, hell yeah, hell yeah. Hell
Did we
yeah.
both do Master of Puppets
Practicing
at
my
the same
Master
time?
of Puppets air guitar.
Yeah, you guys both did Master of Puppets. Hell yeah, dude. That's all. Yeah,
Let's
you go.
fucking
All right.
go!
Yeah.
We're back in action.
Normal speed.
Hey, and now I'm on top video wise.
Oh
Oh,
shit!
You know what? I'm gonna put you guys both on top. There you go.
Oh my god.
That's so nice of you.
Yeah, I'm a bottom. You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, so we got all the technical difficulties worked out that we should have got worked out before. Who cares? That's what it's about. It's live.
But yeah, chat. We do goof around all the time. But yeah, the name Goof. It's so basically what happened was the band was called Mutt, M-U-T-T, and then we booked our first show with a band called Mutt, and they'd been a band for like a few years, so we had to change them. And I honestly had the name Goof for a while. I just didn't think that like the band would be like, oh, that's fucking sick. But because we changed it, and I used to watch this channel called H3H3, and he used to say a goof, a gaff, a barrel of laughs, and I thought that was hilarious. So they were all like, what are we gonna name the band? What are we gonna name the band? And I was like, how about Goof? And they're like, oh shit, that's fucking sick. And then they asked why. And I was like, well, it's because our music isn't really goofy. It's not really funny, but it's about how goofy people are. You know what I mean? It's about how ridiculous things are in the world, how bad relationships with your parents, like excessively masturbating, school shootings, like being called a fag, like all these things are just goofy as fuck. You know what I mean? Like war, everything, no health care, like, you know what I mean? And that's what Goof is about. Goof is about not about us being goofy, even though we are, but about everyone else's like just living in a goof.
I mean, is excessive masturbating really goofy?
I mean, if it stops you from doing what you need to do, absolutely.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. So we had our little technical difficulties and whatnot, but you were saying during COVID is when you guys basically during the pandemic is when you guys kind of got linked up.
It was before the pandemic. The band had been going on, and we actually had opened up for Agent Orange at Slim's, like
Fuck yeah,
legendary like Bay Area venue that's not like around anymore. RIP. But what, and yeah, go support your local venues, dude, because like that's where music is, you know what I mean? And that we need those places. Like we're constantly looking for places to play at because there's not many, you know?
Facts.
And so anyways, we've been playing. We had an EP out, like demos and stuff, and we had planned to record the first album, but the pandemic happened. It put a stop to the band. Josh had to move, so we had to get a new drummer. Our drummer who recorded the first and the second album at the time, Taylor, she was great too. She did amazing. And then still same thing, life happens. Ryan and Taylor had moved on, and we met Josh. We met John. And John just delivered something that was like, I would say right now, this is the most perfect lineup for Goof, with John on bass, who also recorded with us the second album, and with Aiden, who's not here with us right now, but Aiden is like great on drums. He really understands the like mission, so to speak, of like the sound we're going for, the influences we're going for, and he was a fan of the band from before, so it's really cool to play music with someone who already loves our music. Same with John. John was a fan of the band from before, and that's kind of what it is. Like we became friends because of like our love for music and our love for relating to real music and real emotions and real feelings in the music, and at the same time just having a great time. You know what I mean? That's what our practices are about. They're about like sticking it out with each other when it's hard, but at the same time having a great time and just goofing around like we were saying earlier.
Sticking it out when it's hard is my number one thing. I just want to think that's worth mentioning. And also, so when I first saw Goof play live before I was playing bass with them, the thing that struck me most about the band was how just incredibly honest and personal the songs were. We were taught. I mean, Ahmed was up there talking about like this song is about excessively masturbating, and now I personally have never masturbated before, but the the honesty behind that was so real. Every single song was about something. It was about something that that I understood, could relate to. There weren't these high levels of abstractions between the lyrics and what the songs meant. Not to say that the lyrics aren't clever and bring up interesting points. They are, but they're also very, very direct about what they're about. And so when I got a call from Taylor, who was the drummer at the time that I was friends with, and still very good friends with, to come play bass. Originally, I was just going to fill in for a while. Felt it out. It felt right, and it's been going great so far. I mean, we've been through good times. We've been through some rough times, but we've been consistently working hard the entire time and pushing through, and we have a lot of fruits to show for that labor.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and just the friendship aspect of the people who used to be in Goof, but also the people who are in Goof right now, this lineup, like we're really good friends. You know what I mean? Like I would say these are my best friends, you know? And just like that feeling of being in a band with your friends, it's like a gang, you know what I mean? Like the it's like one step away from wearing like matching leather jackets and riding on Harleys and shit, you know? It's cool. It's cool as hell. And it's dude, it's awesome because it's like I don't know, since making this album, the second album with John, and now working on the third album with John and Aiden, it's been a bit of a ego killer for me personally. And what's it called? Like just reevaluating who you are as a person as you move forward. I tend to write in a very self-prophesizing way. You know what I mean? Like I write something and then all of a sudden, oh damn, this is actually happening to me right now. but it gives me some comfort. You know what I mean? That I'm already prepared for it from the songwriting. But yeah, like that friendship that we're like building together, it's helping us even evolve as artists and musicians, and like how we're connected to the music and how we feel it. like it's almost like eating now. You know what I mean? Like if we don't do it, like we feel hungry, you know,
Well,
and we have to go eat. And then like when you eat something simple, you want to eat something more complex, something with more flavor on it, more spice, some dessert. And that's kind of how like band practice has become, you know what I mean? Like we go in with this song, and then all of a sudden like things start to change, and like the drums start to be really interesting, and then John like takes a second to like focus on these like really small like nuances and intricacies, to the point where it's like at the ending of a song, and like I can't even pick between the two because the two are great, the two endings on bass. You know what I mean? Well, and just that these are like being at practice to me is like it's the best thing ever. You know what I mean? So that's kind of our whole like kind of reason behind making the music. Also, like the music's topics are not really easy, but what makes them easy is our friendship, and that we survive kind of like these things together.
The real goof is the real goof is the friends we made along the way.
Fuck yeah, it is, bro.
What are the Goof fans called? Are they called Goof heads or Goof offs?
No, just goofs.
Yeah, you were saying,
I usually give them some motivation. Like I'll wake up, I'll be like, "Goofs, it's Saturday, baby. You know what that fucking means. Let's fucking go!" And then the sun will be out, and I'll tell them the sun's out. Get off your ass.
Yeah. No, you were saying, you had a good point. You know, when you're with a bunch of, when you're in a band, if you guys aren't like friends, it's not going to be a successful project. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys, the main part, because I've been in several different bands, and the band that I was in the longest, we were like a family. We were like brothers. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, and so you're going to have fun. You're going to come to practice. You're going to have a great time. You're going to hang out, have some beers, you know, maybe, you know, and then go out afterwards or whatnot. But then you're in some bands where you just show up, do whatever, not having fun. You know, it's just like, nah. But
I don't even know how to be in that band, dude.
You don't need to be. It's not worth it. But anyway, so yesterday you guys dropped a new single, "Burn Me."
Yeah.
I've listened to it several times, so I probably paid your rent on that page as I listened to it, because I can't get the song. Reminds me of a specific like song, not the way it's written, but the way it sounds. It's just like I can hear this song in my head from like the 90s, and it's like a mixture between like Sponge meets Weezer with, I don't know, but it's a great song.
Thanks.
Good job.
Thanks.
Now, with that being released yesterday, you guys have a new album coming out next week, correct?
Yes.
And that is called what?
G2 Judgment Day. Our first album is called Kill 'Em All, which you can listen to everywhere. And you can buy on vinyl. Just DM us on Instagram at Goof the Band, our Bandcamp. And please go follow our Bandcamp. We're gonna this isn't like, we like sharing things with our audience, but so maybe we're gonna experiment with this, which is releasing the album on Bandcamp for a month before releasing it on Spotify. Now our goal is hopefully our fans go listen to it on Bandcamp and follow us there, because they can interact with us in so many different ways. We can sell them merch, we can put articles, we can like send them messages, emails, like all that stuff. Whereas they can send us money for the song that they're listening to, that'll go to us, not to Spotify. You know what I mean? Like we'll instantly get our cut. And
shout out Bandcamp Fridays.
For real. Exactly. And hopefully, like, we have about 400 followers on Spotify. Hopefully those 400 followers go to Bandcamp. Hopefully the people that are listening here go to Bandcamp for that first month. The album is worth it. and we will release one new single when the album comes out on Spotify. Hopefully that tickles people to go listen to it on Bandcamp. They're like, oh my God, I want to listen to the rest of it. How do I do it? Go to Bandcamp.
Well, so are you guys going to put it up on Bandcamp as a free download, or are you going to like, $5 or just whatever they want to give?
My general idea is that for a month, if you want to listen to the whole album right away, it's $5 before it becomes effectively free on Spotify. I mean, we know that artist payouts on streaming are just aren't great. But also that's how the majority of people listen to music. That's fine. I have nothing against how anybody wants to consume art. I think that there's a kind of there's a bit of a devaluing that happens when you make your music freely available to stream on all the services. So we'd like to be able to sell some copies of the album the first month. And it's not a greed thing. We just have recording costs and costs that we put into the album and things like that we'd like to recoup, of course. So
yeah, and we want to get merch. We want to get more vinyl. We want to play for our tour. We want to also start eventually making money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
For sure.
Like if we're musicians, like that's how musicians make money. Like, of course we have jobs, but it would be nice to make money from our music. We work really hard on it. Like this album took 3.5 years of our lives. You know what I mean? Like it took a year away from John's life. It took three, like even more than 3.5 years of my life because I've been writing it for years.
More like it took a year off my life.
So that was gonna be my question. You were talking about the merch there. Are you planning on maybe doing a limited run of vinyl for the new release of
we have vinyl coming. We still have vinyl from Kill 'Em All too, and we have vinyl coming hopefully in June. We'll have like a vinyl bundle too for the first 2 albums. If you buy the 2 albums, it's $30. So
shout out to our boy Look Snatcher for doing the album art on G2. Ahmed said Judgment Day. It's Gudgment Day.
Gudgment Day.
It's very. Oh yeah. Ahmed probably has some originals hanging back there. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's it. That's the original painting of the album art.
That's pretty fucking sick. That's sick.
We're so juiced about the art, and he did art for most of our singles as well.
Bro, that is fucking badass. Hell yeah, I like that.
Yeah, absolute bang up job. You can find him on Instagram at Look Snatcher, spelled exactly like it sounds.
Okay.
Please. And Atomic Garden, like we can't forget about Atomic Garden. Our drummer who recorded that album with us, Taylor Martin. Go check her out. And just Atomic, working with Jack Shirley from Atomic Garden, who recorded Sunbather, Def Heaven's album.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. It's a great album.
Yeah. We recorded our first 2 albums there. And working with him is just like it's really beautiful because he really cares. He's really conscious about not wasting time, but he really cares. You know what I mean? Like he'll tell you if you're doing badly. He'll stop and he'll tell you like, no, do it again. You know what I mean? Like he'll say we can do better. Like he'll be like, can you do it like this? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like he really cares without overstepping, I would say. but
Um,
but is also really conscious of time and of our efforts and of our allowing us the space, and also is really affordable for artists. You know what I mean? Like, he's very conscious about who he's working with. So if you're trying to record a great album and you live in California, or you're trying to come to California to record an album, go to Atomic Garden. It's really worth it.
and Atomic Garden, is that in Oakland?
Yes.
Okay. My a friend of mine, his dad used to own Shark Bite Studio in Oakland. Machine Head recorded there, and a bunch of other people recorded there, and he just recently sold his half of the company. His dad's a lot older now, but some of the bands that have recorded there, I didn't even know that any of this until recently. Well, he didn't know it either. He just found out who his father was recently, but told him all these stories about that studio. And then I heard Rob Flynn talking about how Machine Head practices there and shit. And it's like, okay, place is pretty legit, you know?
The Bay Area is an amazing place for music. We have a great scene here, and a few legends, more than a few legends have come out of here. I'm thinking about Primus mainly. That's probably my.
They're small. They're a smaller band though, right? Primus. I don't think they're gonna ever take it off, man. They're new, right?
We'll see. We'll see. They seem promising.
Metallica's from here. You know what I mean?
Fuck, dude, like, the whole thrash scene, you know, Testament, fucking, you know, Violence,
Exodus,
all that shit. Exodus, yep.
Megadeth, also. Like,
yeah, you're right. People,
like, there's a lot of great art that comes out of
Faith No More.
Faith No More.
Faith No More, yeah.
You know,
I used to live next door to their manager. He got me free Opeth and Mastodon tickets once.
Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah. You were talking about Slims earlier. I actually went to Slims. It was like 91 or 92. I saw Ika Mouse there, and Brad Knoll opened up. Brad Knoll from Sublime, and all he did was play an acoustic guitar, and I didn't know about Sublime at this time. And it was just him playing acoustic guitar, open up for Ika Mouse. And a year later, fucking Sublime is like, a year or two later, Sublime's like the biggest fucking thing out there, you know. That's a great venue though. It's no longer there, you said? No more? Slims?
No, it's no longer there. It's like a rave club now.
I saw the Acacia Strain there.
Oh, sorry. Nice. They put on a great show.
Yeah, it was like in 2008. 2008 or 2009. I saw them there because I flew out to go visit my family, and I was like, I got to go to the show tonight, and I went to see that real quick.
You got to see them in like the heyday of like metalcore and shit like that. I saw them. They were touring with Between the Buried and Me, and that was kind of like a comeback. That felt, at least to me, more like a comeback tour for them. But I remember I was coming up in 2008, 2009, and I was never really a metalcore guy myself. But that shit was so hot.
Yeah. I'm actually going to be talking with I'm working on it. I still keep in contact with them, but Kevin, their old drummer from the Acacia Strain, I'm gonna get him on here and we're gonna talk some. He's actually has a new band now with Andy Williams. He's an Andy Williams from Every Time I Die's new band, playing drums. So that's kind of cool.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So growing up, okay, first off, now John, are you from the Bay?
No, well, not exactly. I'm from Sacramento, so stone's throw.
Yeah, not too bad. And then Ahmed, I heard on another podcast you're from all over.
Yeah, I'm from a lot of places.
Where were you popped out at? Where did you enter this world? Houston. Okay.
Yeah, I went to Egypt when I was about 8 or 9, and what's it called? And then I went to college for a couple of years in Canada, and then I went back to Egypt and came here around 2014. I worked in a marketing company for about 3 years. I was doing pretty well, but the main reason I came here was to go to take film classes and try to make some film connections and like try to write scripts and stuff. And I just, even though I was doing well at that company, I just didn't feel happy. So I just quit and I went and took some film classes. And again, Goof, that's how I met Josh, and that's how Goof started. And just everything that I do right now started. So if you ever feel like what you're doing is not the right thing, trust your gut, dude, because like I make less money right now, but I'm a lot happier than I was at that job.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters, man. Being happy, you know, like I said, I don't make a lot of money myself, but you know what? I'm happy, you know, and that's all that matters. I'd rather be happy making shit money than being miserable making good money, you know? So.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Totally. Like it attracts the right people into your life. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I would have never met John. Like for real, dude. John's like one of the best friends I've ever had. Like I would have never met John or Aiden or Taylor or Ryan, like any of those people, you know? Yeah. Like all of the members of Goof that I told you about that are not in the band anymore. Like we still talk. We're still homies. Like we're all friends, you know?
Where do you guys jam at?
Secret Studios in San Francisco.
Okay. Actually, are you guys?
Go ahead. No.
I was about to say, do you guys all live in the city, or do you guys live on the outskirts?
Well, John lives in the city. I used to live in North Beach for about 3 years, actually. Nice. I've lived in San Leandro too, but I live in Berkeley right now. And
okay, cool.
And Aiden lives in El Cerrito, which is like
nice. No, yeah, right there on right by, yeah.
Yeah, we practice sometimes at Aiden's studio too, Soundwave Studios in Oakland.
Okay.
So we have like a couple of places to practice at, which is awesome. John's showing y'all.
We got cribs going on here. Cribs.
Yeah, you can see the bridge in the distance.
I can. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that
show him the bread box. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, you know, I was just there back in March. I was just there in March.
Nice.
I was up in Vallejo, where my
Six Flags.
No. I mean, it used to be called, when I was young, it used to be called Marine World.
Yeah. Right. I remember when it was Marine World too. Yeah. Some family friends would get season passes, and we would all pile into their van and go to Marine World all day and eat a bunch of shit and ride a bunch of rides.
Yeah. You know, I'm so old that I remember going out driving through there before American Canyon was even there. When it was just all land. American Canyon wasn't even there yet. It was just all fucking field and shit. Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
That was in the 80s. That was in the 80s, though. You know,
I've actually been to American Canyon.
Yeah, I got family all over that part. I got in Fairfield, Vacaville, Vallejo, Richmond. You know, so I got lots of family in Sac. So
that's sick. Yeah. Dude. No, but yeah, we're all like I've been living for the Bay for about 10 years now. So like I would say I'm from the Bay. I'll say this about the Bay Area. It's a great place to explore your artistry and to explore who you want to be as an artist.
Yeah.
But I wish there was more obvious business structure towards the art. As there is in LA or New York or Austin, Nashville, like all these places have production companies, you know what I mean? And I wish there was more of those in the Bay. And unfortunately, even the ones that are in the Bay are very tiny. And this is not any knock against them or anything, because I understand when you're small, you want to cater to your homies, you know what I mean?
Correct. Yeah.
So there's a lot of that, which is great. But I just wish there was more of that, like talent scout type of thing. Like someone's out there like watching You know what I mean? Because like I do that even. Like I'm out there always watching for the bands that I want to play with, and like,
Yeah.
oh, I like that band. Oh, I really like them, because like I'm gonna go spend the whole day with them. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go spend the whole day with 2-3 bands. I want to like those bands and listen to them and like show them real love and support. So I wish someone was doing that for like for the people. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing that for us and for our audience, which is not big right now, but I wish someone was doing that for their audience. Like I don't think that happens anymore. You know what I mean? I think right now it's like, how many followers do you have? Have you done something viral? Are you hot? You know what I mean?
Which we are,
by the way.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are fucking, you guys are hot. You know, you guys can do.
Yeah, we are beautiful examples of the human body. I think that is one of our selling points.
I just wish there was that's all I would say. Like the Bay Area is a beautiful place to experiment and like be yourself. I'll say that.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: since I mean you've had a few different people in the band, but what is like the influence on the Goof sound?
I would say there's a lot of influence, dude. So like coming from Egypt, or growing up in Egypt most of my life, like my access to music is based on what until LimeWire, obviously. But my access to music is basically MTV and the tapes that actually make it to a record store in Egypt. You know what I mean? So like, and those CDs and those tapes and those people that are on their music videos are out. So the bands that I saw are like all like top tier, like Metallica, Slayer, Pantera, like everyone who's as famous as Michael Jackson, basically.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Got you.
And or like anyone who's like making music, even if heavy, like System of a Down, Nirvana, Tool. These are the people that I grew up on. So my interest in Egypt, there's not really a metal scene and a punk scene and a rock scene and a jazz scene. They're all in the same scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just you make English music, you're in the same scene.
Yeah.
So I pick music based on not genre really. You know what I mean? And that's why you'll like find so much, like, even though we're making metal and rock and roll and punk, you'll find it from so many places. Like you'll find it from Nirvana, Metallica, Weezer, Beach Boys, the Beatles, like Bob Dylan, like you were talking about Burn Me. Burn Me to me is basically a Bob Dylan song that if he was NoFX or Blink-182.
Yeah, that's what you said. I was like, yeah, okay. I did notice that from
it's such a funny image.
It is, yeah.
Like Bob Dylan and Blink-182, like with spiky hair and shit.
Yeah, I was picturing like Bob Dylan with like the backwards Tom hat, you know what I'm saying? And he's just fucking, got and then he's like in the fucking like the fat Mike like leather, and the fishnet, but no, so I did notice that I went, the last couple of days I was listening to the Goof stuff that's on Spotify. I listen to everything and it's on there, and it's it's all kinds of styles on there. It's not just one specific style. I like that, it's just like it's a variety of stuff. And are you the only one singing on those albums? Because if so, you're okay. I was about to say, because I was about to say your voice has changed on a lot of different tracks. So you got other people singing too then.
Oh, no.
Ahmed's about to sell himself short and say, I'm not the only one singing. Well, that's technically true. Like all the lead vocals that you're hearing are Ahmed singing.
Well, I'm going to say this. You have a great range of vocals. You're different styles. You have a lot of styles. And I think that's pretty cool. I like that gives you so much more options when you're writing music. I think
speaking to the first off, absolutely agree. Having just recently been in the studio with Ahmed, the level of specificity that you, I'm not sure which pronoun to use here, that in the studio that you, Ahmed, were you were practicing, as far as this needs to sound more like I'm an insane person, for like when we were recording I hate you, for example. Or this needs to sound beautiful, this needs to sound epic. um your understanding of what vocal requirement is going to complement the instrumentation the best is just so precise and so on point, and kind of related to that, and more speaking to the genre thing. When we're like I'm historically, I'm a tech death metal guy. That's where I come from. I've never really been in a punk band, but for the reasons that I described earlier, as far as finding Goof's music really hard and relatable, that's why I wanted to join and be part of it. But when we're writing songs, and Ahmed is showing me the things that he's influenced by. I mean, he'll show me the most insane moments of obscure videos. Usually something that was recorded back in the 60s or the 70s. I'm thinking of that kind of like Arabic big band thing that you showed me a while back specifically.
Oh yeah, for help.
Right. You know what I'm talking about. And yeah, he'll like right. And I'm gonna pretend like I remembered that was his name. But he'll show me this really obscure like riff from a video that was recorded in 1972 or something like that, and say, yeah, I based this lick on in the solo off of this lick, and it's just a trip to kind of hear how that one little moment in a piece of music that happened decades ago filtered its way through our creative process into something that becomes like a really cool and memorable moment in our music.
That's awesome. Now, that's so when you guys are recording, are you guys trying to get like the rawness of a show into your recording?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes and no. There were some things that I wanted to do with this past recording that we didn't end up going with songs kind of fading into each other a little bit more, the way that they would a show, but we ended up deciding that these songs need to be their own separate thing, and the show is going to kind of merge them all into a singular experience. Now that said, we record the songs all together as a band, and then record a second guitar part, because second panned left and right guitars is just a requirement of modern rock music. So when you hear the record, though, that those are single takes that we did recording the songs all together in the studio. So there's definitely a lot of live rawness there.
Absolutely.
And how long did it take y'all to you said it took you guys like physical recording time? It took you a year to record that?
No.
Okay.
3 days.
3 days, yeah, okay. I didn't know if you guys like did a little bit here and a little bit there, did a little bit here. So 3 days, okay.
No,
we spent a ton of time. We spent a ton of time practicing, and
that's the key right there.
And right.
How much would you say we wrote, and how much would you say we practiced?
I don't make a distinction between those two. We were writing the whole time we were practicing.
There you go.
A couple of the bass parts I play on the record, I came up with the week prior to us going in the studio.
Wow.
So all of that practice time was also writing time.
True.
Yeah, that's
True.
that's the thing, man. Like a lot of people, you got to get yourself one to save money. You got to practice it good enough so when you go in, you're only gonna do 1 or 2 takes. You're not trying to, nope, do it again. Nope, do it again. Like the more you practice beforehand, the less money you're gonna save, and that's extra money that you're gonna have for merch. So
Right.
Yeah. If you do the process that we did,
yeah,
I urge anyone, and this is not for us or for your listeners, but this is for you as a band. I urge you to practice because it's not easy. Hiccups happen, things come up, and not to sell ourselves short, like we did great, but yeah, we did great because we practiced like the whole time. You know what I mean? Like at home, at the studio, like constantly practicing for that moment. And when you get to that moment, the pressure just alleviates. It just becomes fun. So like if you're gonna record as a band and do the whole like live track thing, please practice because you'll feel so better about yourself.
It's crazy when you hear people talk like, man, we spent 1 month on this song recording it. I'm like, fuck, 1 month on a song. That's crazy. Cause like at that point, I don't even want to fucking play the song anymore because I've been fucking working on it.
I will say this: some genres, and this is honestly through my relationship through John, like just learning about like tech death and like a lot of death metal and how it's recorded and stuff. Because John is recording a band right now in Sacramento. What's their name?
Portend. And yeah, your listeners should definitely go and follow them if you look up Portend band. You can find them. But I'm gonna bridge off what Ahmed's saying. Sorry. But I know I know how you're gonna finish this. So
go ahead. Absolutely.
But yeah, we're recording a tech death album right now, and first off, absolutely all of the things that we were describing before still apply. It's not an apples and oranges thing. The more you practice, the more prepared you are, the happier and more comfortable you're going to be in the studio, and the fewer takes that you're going to do. But the approach that we're taking with recording this album, it's we're doing some writing in the studio, and also the parts are just technically hard as fuck. They're wild time signatures, tempo jumps, shredding, then not shredding, then shredding again, crazy stuff. And it's taken a lot longer to record that album, and that doesn't make the album of a lesser quality or anything like that. In fact, it's making it a nice high quality album. But with different genres, I would say that there's maybe different expectations about what the studio time and the studio process should look like.
Absolutely. I write right now, actually. So we're working on the third album, which is mostly written, but we're also I've written songs for a fourth album, and we're writing songs together now. And that album, we've decided already that it is almost, it's not impossible, it's possible to do it in the same manner, but we want to just experiment with another way of recording just to make it more like our goal is to have it better produced as opposed to just a raw record. Like these first three albums are a trilogy. That's the way I see them, and the way we've come to see them together, that they're a trilogy and they end. And then this fourth album is kind of like not a new band, but it's just more. Like we're trying to add more as we go, and like people will see it with this third album after G2, G3, and like it's gonna be really special because they'll see us evolve kind of miles away from even like Judgment Day and Kill 'Em All, and it'll make sense when we do the fourth album with a different recording process.
I mean, just to give you a little preview, we are going full Limp Bizkit.
Oh yeah, dude. Hey, I saw them on Saturday with Metallica.
We're not,
shit!
we love Limp Bizkit, but we're not.
They were So wait, is this third album gonna be called The Revenge of the Goof?
No, I'm glad you asked. That's pretty good. But
Yeah.
no, it's not. It's gonna be called the Goof G3, the Goof, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Oh, nice. And guess what? That's another that ties right back into Metallica because their intro to every show is the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Absolutely. Dude, you're right. We talked about this because
Yeah.
of Kill 'Em All. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
But
they do is it Ecstasy of Gold that they use the Ennio yeah that's sick as fuck. Such a
And
great
they've
song.
been using that since at least since the 90s when I saw them. When I saw them, they were using it in 92 during the Black Album tour. So they've had that same intro and it's not broke. Why fix it? It works for them. It gets you hyped up. And now they play parts of the movie on the screen.
Oh, I know. I've seen videos
cool.
of that. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not to just talk about
you're good.
An album that's not coming out for probably.
No, yeah, sure.
Just a quick preview. Like
Okay.
like our influences on that album, like in order to capture that Wild West sound, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like a pioneer vibe, like moving west and stuff. To capture that sound, the influences that we're using are things like Tool, Metallica, the Mars Volta, and then some Eastern music, some Indian music, and then the Doors. You know what I mean? Things like Spanish Caravan and things like Riders on the Storm, and like a lot of these bands together, and like some death metal, some black metal, like vocally especially. So like all these things together kind of culminate in this like Wild West kind of metal sound. It's hard to explain, but when the album comes out, I promise y'all will get it. And watch out for a song called Healthcare. John is creating some crazy bass tapping for that song. That and it's wild. I can't wait for people to see what we're doing with the third album. Like I talked before about John joining the band for the second album to go back to G2 Judgment Day, which is coming out May 15th on Bandcamp. So be sure to go and check it out there and follow us at Goof the Band. But what I would say is there was so many ideas. Ryan is a great bassist, but there was so many ideas based on the genres that I was going for that cross over with the genres that John loves. And we just love more of the same music. Like me and Ryan used to connect on our love for pop punk and for mostly punk. But like I said, my influences they vary so much. Like I was just talking about Healthcare. Like one of the influences for that song is the Electric Company. You know what I mean? Like P, pen, like that's that like teaching spelling thing. It'll make sense when y'all hear it. But what I'm saying is, like, that's how obscure the influences are. Like a video of the Electric Company. You know what I mean?
I'm picturing that part of the Electric Company. We got the faces, and one says the word, the other says the word, and they go together. Is that you gonna do a video like that?
I hope so, dude. That'd be
pretty. That'd be pretty
So
fucking dope.
Good. Oof.
Yeah, Goof.
Goof.
Yeah, dude, that'd be great.
But with my I love metal music. Like I love punk music, but
Mhm.
I really love also like experimenting and pushing myself as an artist, because like I don't want to get bored, and I most of the bands that I love tend to be on the heavier side, same as John.
Okay.
And what John just brought to G2 is crazy. Like when anyone that knows us hears some of the album, especially our first song, Judgment Day, our last song on the album, I Will Survive, Burn Me, we just released it. You were just talking about it.
Yeah.
Like John's bass lines on that song are crazy, especially when we get to like the past the kind of like after the second chorus, like the bass lines are amazing, and like that's kind of a testament to like the genres that he's into, you know what I mean, and the bands that he played in before. Like he used to play in a really amazing like metal band called Bespora, and yeah, just the amount of creativity that I heard. Once I heard that, I knew that he would have everything we need going forward in Goof, even as we're
Yeah.
making more music. And obviously it's amazing that he loved our music to begin with, but if I'm being honest, dude, like his bass playing like makes the band so much more special and so much
You flatter
harder.
me, Ahmed.
You bless
So,
you.
so much harder, so much more nuanced. Like it challenges me to even sometimes play things differently. Like we have a song called About a Vegan Girl, and I just showed him this lick that I wasn't gonna use. I was like, look, this would be hilarious if the lick was like this. And he was like, actually, I'm really good at licks like that on the bass. So now we have to do it. So I went home and I had to practice for like a whole month to do that lick. But that's the relationship that we have, that like even though we're pushing each other, it's like it's so much fun. It's so much fun, it's so creative, and like we've evolved so much with the second album in sound and in variety and in nuance and technicality, and people will see that even as we move on to the third and fourth, and it's a huge reason because of John.
What
Aw,
with
thanks,
Goof,
thanks, homie.
with Goof being with Goof being from San Francisco, does that feed into like your attitude and your themes of what you write about?
Absolutely.
200%. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, definitely. We are both proponents of social justice and have criticisms of social
Yeah.
justice too. This is just like a worldwide hub of people from all kinds of different walks of life that
Yeah.
that have non-traditional gender sexualities, what have you. And um and so coming to term not coming to terms, uh but kind of reflecting the way that we see the world changing in a lot of ways that we see are positive, and in some ways that we see are negative. There's a lot of material to read from here. And then also, obviously, you mentioned all of those Bay Area thrash bands earlier.
Mhm.
We we take a huge amount of influence from them and the influence that they had in the music scene as well. And there are a ton
Mhm.
of awesome local bands that are pushing musical boundaries, not just in San Francisco, but just on a huge scale.
Mhm.
Um, so we have plenty of other local musicians to learn from and take influence from as well. Yeah, it's a great city. The Bay Area at large
Yeah.
too is it's it's a great place to be a musician. It's not perfect, you know, kind of to Ahmed's point earlier there, you know, some other places like LA that have people that are a little bit more connected in the music industry,
Yeah.
you know, as far as you know, marketing, distribution, touring, things like that. But I mean, we're eating well here as far as uh, inspiration.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Inspiration, creativity. There's so much of it here. Even like people that are not even trying to go out and like play a show or be in a band. They're just talented, and like you'll go and hang out with them, and they'll just play, and like it's a great place to be around. There's a lot of inspiration, and definitely the attitude. I would say. I would say this. As much as we are all about, obviously, like I'm from the Middle East, you know what I mean? Like Taylor, who played in drums on the second and first album, is a trans woman. And like Goof has always had like so many different types of people like uh kind of be connected to it as fans, you know what I mean? Like our fans like come up to us and talk to us after the show. They're so different. Like they're, some are young and some are old, some are trans, some are black, some are like so many things, you know what I mean? And
Yep.
it's hard not to want everyone to be doing well. And there's so many things that we have here in the Bay, like healthcare. Like healthcare in the Bay is great. Like it's not perfect, but the fact that it exists for everyone is great. And it's kind of sad to think that like other people around the country don't have it, and that's kind of what BERN ME is about. Now this is where Goof's nuance really comes in, because while we are liberals and we want these things, like these benefits and these like for everyone, there we don't just want them for liberals. And BERN ME, that song is, like I said, is a great example. The reason I was inspired to write it is when Bernie, I was so hyped because like it was the first time I was able to vote in America. And I thought Bernie was definitely going to be like the person that people would pick. It's like logical. He's the only person who's like, hey, free healthcare, free education, affordable housing, like social justice, like everyone has to be cool to each other.
Yeah.
Every other politician is just talking about things I don't understand. You know what I mean?
No, I get you.
And he loses, and that inspired me right away to write that song. And the other thing that inspired me even to keep writing it was the fact that as soon as he lost, he went on a tour to red states to tell them like, hey dude, you don't have health care, and like you don't have a free education, and these things are expensive, and it's not going your way. Like we need to make it go your way, because we're American. Like we're all together in this. And like if we can't get it together in like the world's strongest country and the world's richest country,
Yeah.
then how are we all gonna get it together as a planet? You know what I mean?
I think it's really important to I heard this said a long time ago that you shouldn't judge a country or a group of people by how well their richest and wealthiest are doing. You should judge them by how their poorest are doing, and how well the poorest can live. And we do have we do some incredible things in America. We have some of the best engineers, best scientists. I mean, we have a lot of resources, and you know, San Francisco and the Bay Area is this incredible tech hub. But you know, you also roll down to Oakland or roll down to the Tenderloin, and there are like, you know, blocks of people living in Skid Row levels of poverty. And it's and that's one of the things that Goof songs are about. Help me get around. comes to mind, and yeah, and Burn Me, and Help, another Help song, is kind of making sense of and coming to terms with that kind of disparity, but between the different kinds of people that we live and work around.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's why the second album is called Judgment Day. The first album, Kill 'Em All, was really about killing all the negative things about not just myself, but if someone's listening, about their self. You know what I mean? Inspires you to do that for yourself, you know? And like kill the person who you are to be the person who you were meant to be, basically. Type of thing. And that's to anything, like to a society, to a single person, a small community. Like if you want to be better, you have to kill all these things that are wrong. And that's what was Kill 'Em All was about. Whereas this album is coming from a place of judgment, really, and that we've been writing, and Help is a great example of that. One of the big influences in that song, the repetition of the word help, just like the Beatles. And people have been saying help. The whole point is people have been saying help since the Beatles, and still nothing has changed. You know what I mean? There's so many people that have said this is wrong, and it still doesn't change. And those people had huge influence. And they change people's hearts, but people with power haven't changed in the way they do their dealings.
yeah.
And it really, because of this, and because the people are in power, are using, which is what Burn Me is about, they're using our passions against us by turning us against each other. I'm a liberal. I agree. Like I love most social justice causes, and the only reason I say most is because I'm a human being. I don't know all of them.
Yeah.
But the ones I know about, I care about, in the sense that I'm a human being, and I just want people to be happy and be whoever they want to be, and just not in each other's business. You know what I mean? Just be yourself, dude, and like go out there and make things happen for you. But at the same time, I see how the people in power use our passions against us. Like I don't wish anyone in a red state ill will. You know what I mean? I want to go there and perform for them, because these songs are for them too. Like no one in the red state should experience racism, being poor to the point where they're homeless. Like we have that in our liberal, like utopia, as people would call it. You know what I mean? It's not really, if there's like people all over the place. You know what I mean? And like just like crackheads, like not getting any medical attention, people ODing, their skin's falling off, and no one cares. And I'm not saying these people are living like properly or anything, but they're human beings and they deserve our compassion. I myself used to be a heroin addict, and the reason I got over it is because I had love and compassion and 4 walls to think and be better. You know what I mean? Better not in it for anyone else other than myself. You know what I mean? When I'm better for myself, I will be better for other people. But that thought process didn't happen without love, support, compassion.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what bothers me, not just about liberal cities, but also about red states. None of those people care about you. You know what I mean? None of those politicians care about you. They're just turning you against each other. And everyone, whether they're Christian, atheist, black, white, needs healthcare, for example. How is that even a conversation? You know what I mean? How are they making us turn against each other just on, I want to be myself, or I want healthcare, or I want free education, or I want help getting a lower income house. I don't want to pay $2,000 for a room. You know what I mean? Like that's not fair, you know? And people work really hard, dude. People go to work, and like they still can't afford to live in a room. So if that's happening in the greatest country, then it's like if people ask me like, what would you ask God? I would be like, hey man, like what's up with this shit? Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, if you're like all fucking powerful, like, why is there fucking homeless people? Why are there kids with cancer, bro? And that's the same thing. If America's the greatest country in the world, why are there people in need? Like, in
Well, what
real
happened?
need. I'm not saying in need of like a luxury. No, I'm saying just in need of a home, of support.
Yeah, that is true. We do have too many homeless people here. That's like, and then even you work and you make money, you work 40 hours a week, you still don't have enough money to pay all your bills, rent, and get food and get car. And if you have a car, to get gas. It's just impossible to
Dude,
do
and
it.
save money and like have property and like have a family. These things are now very expensive to the point where people are just not doing them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
It's yeah.
like we don't live the most straightforward lives. We live very like we're musicians, you know what I mean? But at the same time, there's so many people, dude, that are struggling and they're not even like their expenses are just their expenses. They're not
Right.
making records, they're not making vinyl, they're not paying for merch.
Yeah.
They're just paying for their kids. And
Yep.
and those are the people who we write songs for, because like we write songs about us sometimes, but we write songs for the people, and that's what kind of like the lyrical influences come from, like people that are like the Beatles and Bob Dylan and all these like
and to kind of and to kind of square this with what we were saying earlier. I mean, these struggles that people are experiencing are in the shadow of insanely wealthy people doing things like taking luxury trips into space and buying third and fourth homes and buying kind of trivial things that costs what would be a life-changing amount of money to most people. And so, I mean, the wealth disparity in this country is just completely out of fucking control. And and to Ahmed's point earlier, there are so many ways that the working class people are turned against each other for like very very superficial and silly reasons. And we have so much more in common with one another than we have differences. And I think, I mean, I don't know if Goof's going to change the world, but what our songs are for bringing people together, in and allowing people to enjoy the presence of one another, and in a spirit of acceptance and love.
Yeah.
That might sound a little hippie, but I mean that's what it's about.
No, dude, absolutely. Like I say this all the time. I really love America. I really love being here because I'm from Egypt, like I said, and when I was
USA.
we had a we had a revolution, and over and when that happened, there was like this famous comedian there that was basically like Jon Stewart, but in Egypt. You know what I mean? He had a daily type show, and he brought Jon Stewart on the show, and he's been to Jon Stewart show. His name is Bassem Youssef. But he had to leave Egypt because he criticized the new government, even though he was part of the revolution. Like, he criticized the new government, so he had to leave Egypt because they were going to put him in prison. So there are some things in my music where I criticize my culture as well. Like, I come from a like pretty homophobic culture, you know what I mean? And and we're a culture also that also needs help, because things in Palestine. You know what I mean? These are some of the things that are about the G2 songs are about. There's 2 songs, Crackhead Boss and Taxes. They're about the Palestinian and Israeli issue. And I've known about this issue since I was a kid. And
Yeah.
songs were written before January 7th. You know what I mean? And
You mean October 8th?
excuse me?
Sorry, you said January 7th?
Is it not January 7th?
The Hamas attack?
Yeah.
I think that was October 8th.
October 8th, my bad. I'm thinking of something else probably.
Sure. I knew what you were saying though.
But those songs were written before that, like years before that. And it's because this issue is close to every Arab's heart. And at the same time, here at the protests, so many gay and queer people around the world are supporting Palestine. You know what I mean? So I hope, and this is a message to people in my culture and in my country and from the Middle East and in Muslim countries, I hope when you see that, when you see how many queer and gay and like trans people are supporting your cause, that you kind of change your mind about that culture just a little bit.
Yeah.
And that we help, that you see the commonality here. This is another thing, that kind of divide doesn't just happen here in America. It happens all over the world. And now you see that like we're all human beings. Like gay people in America and queer people are constantly protesting for Palestine. And it really warms my heart to see them collaborate and to see like people here in America, like the Palestinian movement here in America, collaborate with queer people also. It really warms my heart because I know people that have been through a lot of homophobia in Egypt and that have to live really secretly and can't be themselves. So as much as I, just in case one of the people watching this is like, what's this dude from Egypt criticizing us? Like, I'm not only criticizing America because it should be the best place on earth, but I'm also, and it is because I'm here speaking because I can't speak these things back home. But I'm also criticizing my culture because no one is safe from criticism. We all change and we all need to be better. And that's another influence with the topics that another change in influence with the topics as we change in genre or with the influences of the genres. The topics are very influenced by different things. They're influenced by problems back where I'm from, or problems here in America. Or we have a song on the 3rd album called Bowfinger. It's about Kim Jong-un not understanding why America hates him. He's like, dude, I do all the things America does. I have nukes. I do war. I love Lamborghinis. Like, you know what I mean? I'm friends with Dennis Rodman. Like, why does America hate me? I just don't get it. You know what I mean? And even there, you can see the commonality. Like this person who everyone thinks is evil, we do a lot of things he does. You know what I mean? So we can all change for the better, and we can all see each other as human beings. So like that criticism doesn't just go to like the people in power. It goes to everyone, because everyone knows that you have your biases and you have your hate, and we can get over that hate together, because if we do, it just makes us stronger. And well, I hope people get that from the Goof songs. But there's also songs about love and being angry, just about
and jacking off too much.
Jacking off and like about survival and about like just going through personal shit on your own, addiction, things like that. But most of the topics are about helping the people out.
Yeah. What's up, Russ?
Hey, I got a question here that somebody asked in the chat. I'm going to show it to you. All right.
Sure.
Can you see that?
Oh, damn. This person knows us well. Yeah, we might start using synth in the fourth album or the third album. We want to get a second guitarist too. We got some plans. Okay. You just gotta keep following the band, and you'll see the evolution. Like
we're saving up for we're saving up for a Casio. Right. We're hoping we're hoping to be able to scrape enough together to, you know, get something where we can where we can make a little noise on.
Yeah, I want to say too that like what's it called? Like if you wanted to see where Goof's music comes from, just go check out Arabic music from Egypt. Check out like classical Indian music. Check out just 90s, just rock and roll throughout like all of our time. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we're trying to like, we love a lot of different things, and if you love a lot of different things and you're influenced by all these different things, you'll relate to so many people. And the reason why the topics are so obvious, even though like John said, they could be clever sometimes lyrically or poetic, but at the same and artistic, but at the same time, the topic itself is obvious because I want everyone to relate to it, and we want to bring
Go ahead.
You know, as far as the synths go, I think with every album we add an additional layer of complexity. I don't know.
Chandrananda. That's Indian music. That's sick.
I can't top that. I think you get what I was about to say.
I would say a great example for what Goof is System of a Down. Like, sure, we do some very like different genres sometimes. System of a Down is my favorite band. It's one of John's favorite bands. And Darren, the guitarist of System of a Down, even though Armenian, was born in Iraq. And his favorite artists as a kid were Egyptian artists. So we have a lot of the same influences from listening to Darren in podcasts and stuff.
Hell yeah, yeah.
And System of a Down is a huge influence for me. So that's why you're gonna hear synth. Like old school Hollywood is one of my favorite songs of all time.
I just saw some video footage from their concerts here the last couple of days in South America. Holy shit. There's like the crowd, there's like 4 different mosh pits in all these different areas. The crowd's just fucking going nuts, dude.
Together at Golden Gate. It was crazy.
Oh, and what fest was that?
It was just them, the Mars.
Oh, really?
Viagra Boys.
Deftones. Deftones. Jesus.
Deftones.
Who could forget? Yeah, August of last year.
You guys not like the Deftones?
I fucking love Deftones. Okay. I just listened. I just listened to Around the Fur the other day, and had a great time.
My niece and nephew just saw them when they played in SAC. What was it back? When did they play in SAC? Back in January, February? It was sold out.
Oh, more recently.
No, maybe it was like October. Maybe it was like October. But it was like whatever it was like sold out. It was like it was their first sold out show in the arena. And then like a month or two later, Papa Roach sold it out.
Dude, I would watch Papa Roach.
The pits at Deftones, especially so Deftones and System of a Down, they kind of co-headlined. People were a little bit more watchful when System was playing, but the pits at Deftones, that was maybe the most chaotic crowd experience I have ever had. Like people having I mean, there were multiple like panic attacks that were going on that people had to get fucking pulled out of the crowd, and like
It's
some
crazy.
people were puking, and like you'd be standing there, and then you get pushed all the way over to the side, and then you get pushed to the other side.
Was that
Shit
at
was
Golden Gate
off.
Park?
Yeah, that was it. That was at Golden Gate Park. They opened up the polo field, and and put a bunch of concert shit there and did a concert.
Don't they have a yearly fest there too, though?
Oh,
Yeah,
I think, right?
yeah. Outside Lands is at Golden Gate Park.
Okay.
Yeah. Outside Lands. And strictly
Hardly Strictly Bluegrass.
yeah, hardly strictly bluegrass is there. There's a bunch of festivals that happen in Golden Gate Park, but this was like just like amazing. Like just seeing the Mars Volta, Deftones, and then System of a Down is like great. And like I said, System of a Down is just like if I had to pick like 5 bands real quick, you know what I mean?
Well, I was going to ask you a question. Let me ask you this question then real quick. What would a dream lineup be for the Goof?
Oh shit.
Well, first off, Metallica opens for us.
Okay. I mean, it's your show, so you
Sure.
pick the lineup.
Oh, so we're headlining? That's crazy.
Well, it's our show. We can be anywhere in the lineup we want.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
I'll say this then. Cool. I'll say this is my pick. Well, Kurt Cobain's not alive. Dead bands too.
Yeah, whatever.
It's our show. We can book dead people. No problem.
You can get AI. Come on, they could be AI Jimi Hendrix. You know,
a hologram.
Yeah, hologram. There you go.
Ahmed, let's switch off bands. So you take a band, then I'll take a band, then you do a band.
All right. Let's pick an opener first.
All right. For Goof, well, you pick an opener. I'm thinking too big.
Okay. For an opener, you know what? There's a local band I really love called Sheesh Mahal. I would pick them as our opener. Yes.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Sheesh Mahal. And you go. Second band.
Oh, second band. All right. I'm gonna do a wild card pick. I'm gonna say Streetlight Manifesto. The ska group. I think that they would be so much fun to see and so much fun to play with.
Yeah.
That's sick. Dude, that's a great pick. I would say then we play, then Goof plays third, and then I would say Nirvana.
Okay.
System of a Down, Metallica, Between the Buried and Me.
You're taking we're gonna go back and forth, bro.
Shit. My bad.
No, you're good.
I was just gonna say Tool and then Dimmu Borgir.
Oh, dude, Dimmu headlining.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think Dimmu Borgir could headline. Man, ska and fucking like black tech death metal orchestral shit in one night.
No, we still need to. Like, you should pick 2 bands.
This is a fest. This would be a fest lineup.
Right. We're getting to fest levels. Man, you're
doing Goof Fest.
I cheated by picking his favorite band.
You did. Okay, I want to throw Botch on the lineup. They're
dude.
Yeah. They're this kind of I guess for lack of a better term, I call them Matt. Russ, it sounds like you know Botch.
Fuck yeah, I know Botch.
Yeah. Man,
Did you see them? Did you see them at all on any of their reunions?
I
No.
didn't fucking see the botch reunions. I botched that one up.
Oh, dude, I will say also would be sick. Judas Priest.
All right.
Yeah, that
And one more band, maybe even like headline, Pink Floyd.
all right. Yeah, now we're going into serious dream world territory. Pink Floyd, Pink Floyd with Roger Waters and David Gilmour, except they get along now.
And
Yeah, right.
playing after Dimo Borgir.
Playing Animals all the way through.
Would Sid Barrett still in the band?
Oh,
Dude, that would be sick. We would get so many great songs. Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, huge festival lineup. But if
That's
I would
good.
say 4 bands, or let's say like just four band lineup, I would say damn, like other than Goof, I would say what's it called? My pick would be Nirvana, Tool, Metallica, and System of a Down.
That's a great pick. I'll echo that for time's sake.
Okay. If Goof had the opportunity to either one, do a summer tour with their favorite band, or play a summer on the Warped Tour,
Whoa.
which would you rather do?
Warped Tour is an incredible opportunity.
System of
I mean
Down.
that's a hard pick because I feel like going on Warped Tour, you're going to make incredible contacts. Like Warped Tour is my business decision.
Yeah.
But my like personal desire decision, oh Lord, if we could go on tour with System of a Down, I would die happy. We're like kids in a candy store over here with these questions, Russ. Getting us all excited about thinking about going on tour with these great fucking bands.
Hey, we all have dreams. We got
But
dreams,
again, as you can see, like we're into the same music, and
that's great.
the music we're into is so varied, and it's so hard to pick. Like, dude, I wish I could play a show with Blondie. You know what I mean? I wish I could play with Willie Nelson. You know?
Hey, he's still kicking.
Yeah, dude. Like Bob Dylan. I'll play with anyone, dude. Like I'll play with Lady Gaga.
Dude, hey, that'd be a sick show.
I would fuck with Lady Gaga show.
Yeah.
She wears meat. She wears meat dresses and shit.
She's tough. That's tough right there. I couldn't do it. You know how much that probably weighed? And she's just walking like it's nothing, you know? Shit. You know.
Carry that.
So for Goof being a band, as of right now, Ahmed, what is probably I know all your material is your favorite material, but what's the one song that you're most proud of that you've written lyrically?
Whoa, lyrically?
Yeah.
I would say Brown Boy.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one.
I would say Brown Boy because it's the first time I was able to relate to someone else's story. Obviously, I'm brown, but I saw this comedy show called The Axis of Evil with a comedian called Ahmed, and he was telling this hilarious story about how he's an actor also, and he keeps getting terrorist roles. And like he keeps turning them down, but then his manager was like, dude, you just got to go read for it. And he goes in and he makes fun of it and stuff, but the director actually likes it. He likes the ridiculousness. And he's like, oh, that was amazing. But like, this is like one of the jokes, but can you do it again with that, that Middle Eastern that your people possess? And like the guy goes, you mean anger? Yeah, obviously. He's like, yeah, do it with that Middle Eastern anger that your people possess. And and he did it, and he got the role, but he was in this like situation where he was like, oh damn, dude, like, should I take this role? Like, cause like every time I take a role like this, like I'm fueling kind of the fire. But his manager goes, well, they're offering you $30,000 for 3 days of work. And he just, that joke basically ends with him making terrorist noises like, along, like, because like he took the money.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what the song is about. The song, and it's again a self-prophesizing thing, because it's something I try typecasting. Like it's the reason I don't write about a certain topic or make one genre or talk about, like, I love hip hop, like we were talking about before the
Yeah.
and hip hop's like, John loves hip hop, and like it's a huge influence with us lyrically. Like if you hear one of our songs, Moron is like crazy lyrically. Like it's one of the songs I'm proud of too, but it's about how celebrities are stupid. And Eminem's like one of my favorite like influences too. Like he's a huge influence on me, and a huge South Park also, like movies. A lot of what makes Goof funny or clever, and that's where the funny is from like hip hop and like popular television and movies. So like it's what makes the album cover hilarious, you know what I mean? Terminator, and also makes it really hard. But I would say, what's it called? Fuck, I forgot.
Well, no, you were saying, you just said hip hop. I was listening to this podcast a couple of days ago at Rob Flynn from Machine Head, and he said that the first Machine Head records was heavily influenced the way he did his vocals from listening to Tupac and Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, because that's what he was listening to a lot of. And that's how a lot of he said his deliverance on that album was listening to those hip hop records. It rubbed off on him.
Yeah, well, with
cool.
with Moron, I see whenever, like, for example, Eminem goes after someone, he goes after him in the most hilarious ways. Like he was telling like Machine Gun Kelly, like, how are you gonna call yourself out? How are you gonna call yourself after a gun when you have a man bun? Like like, it's like so childish but so hilarious, and so like, dude, like how are you even gonna like top that, even though it's so like whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Moron is kind of about that. Like there's like one of the parts is about Brandon Flowers from the Killers, and he's like a Mormon, but he seems to ignore everything that's wrong with like the church, not people's faith, but just the church, you know what I mean, and how it deals with its like people and things like that. And in it I say, like in it I'm like, with a flower in your name you can't complain when I make fun of that stupid faith. Special underwear that I can't explain because they sell underwear to protect you from the devil. And but that's just dumb, like that stupid name, like Brandon Flowers. And it's like that kind of like childish like cleverness is what makes it like, dude, you're just a dumbass, like, you know what I mean? And that kind of like wordplay comes from hip hop, really, you know what I mean? It comes from hip hop's poeticism and like
a lot of that, yeah.
And to go back to like the song that I remember now, the song that I'm most proud of lyrically, Brown Boy, is because I was able to relate to someone else's story and relate it to not just me, but to so many other people. Because he even makes the joke, the comedian that was telling that story about the terrorist role, he was like, my casting, my credit would be terrorist number 4, because number 1, 2, and 3 went to a black guy, gay guy, and a Jew. You know what I mean? So he's like, and that's where like the cleverness of that song kind of comes, and it's funny also comes from that wordplay that he was doing in the line that goes. So the lyrics go, just a brown boy trying to make it in this wide world, and now don't want to be cast as terrorists 1 or 2, 3 or 4. don't want to be on 24, the Jack Bauer show, or any of those shows. And then I said no, but they gave me 50 grand. So I went back home. I looked at my fridge. There's nothing to eat and there's nowhere to sleep. So I said, fuck that. And then it says, it's just a beard. It's just a beard in the chorus. And the reason I didn't say whether I take the money or not is because everyone is in that situation. Do I go beyond my values and take the money? Do I compromise myself for a goal? Not even just money. And that's up to you to decide. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of the songs I'm most proud of. And I Will Survive on this on the second album. And it's because it was a challenge for me to write something that didn't come from me right away, but that I can relate to through my struggle. Like that wasn't something that was happening to me, but I can relate through my own struggle, and anyone can relate to it. Everyone needs to survive a struggle. And that's what I Will Survive is about. It's whereas Brown Boy, I'm trying to relate a specific thing, typecasting to everyone. With this, I'm trying to relate a very broad thing, which is survival, to everyone. And every time, I would say the last song on the album is always our most challenging, our most nuanced, and it kind of shows you where we're going to go with the next album. So if you want to know what the third album's going to sound like, listen to I Will Survive when the album comes out.
Oh yeah. So okay, well that's why, is that why Brown Boy is at the end of Kill 'Em All?
Yes. Yeah, because Brown Boy shows you the most nuance in on that album, lyrically and musically even. It has a very like Man Who Sold the World, David Bowie operatic feel to it, with kind of like a Dracula and Danny Filth influence from Cradle of Filth, with the screams at the end, like kind of like these vampiric screams as he explains his screams. And this movie called Forgetting Sarah Marshall. There's this like there's this like Dracula song where he like goes like die, I can't, and it's like so operatic and shit. And that's kind of what I wanted to give with like those. Even though I'm not doing that low of a voice, I'm screaming. I wanted the screams to feel like that, or just a beard, like that part when it's sung, as opposed, because sometimes it's sung and sometimes it's screamed. And I wanted to like bring those two dualities. So with that amount of nuance in Brown Boy, it kind of signals the amount of nuance that's coming in Judgment Day. And when you hear I Will Survive, you will see that we're getting even more nuanced for the third album.
Now, after we get done with this tomorrow, I want you to go outside with some tap dancing shoes on and do that voice and sing and dance in the street for me with birds chirping. And I want you guys to do that.
You should ask Ahmed to do something he doesn't always do on Saturday.
I know,
morning.
dude.
My bad, I didn't know.
those are what my Goofs videos are. When
I was saying
Goofs, that's exactly what I'm doing. When I'm walking outside, I'm like, the birds are chirping.
So John, I asked him that question. I'm gonna ask you a question. What's a song that you wish you would have written?
Oh my lord!
Shit, that's cool. After this, I would like John to answer another question. What's the song you're most proud of on bass?
That's my kind of question.
Not
this like out of left field. What song do I wish I wrote? No. I would say the song that I wish that I wrote is called "Help Me Get Around." It's on the second album that's coming out. I don't think it's been released as a single yet.
No.
But that song is such a good like 90s grunge song. It has a hard edge. It has really interesting drumming on it. and also the lyrical content is about the way that uh, people that are poor and don't have a lot of resources tend to be much more kind to people and invite them to their house and sit them down to eat. And people that are wealthy tend to be say less generous, and the kind of irony in that. And you just having grown up in the 90s, Alice in Chains is, on my top five bands for sure, that I love. And then also just that very to the point, relatable lyrical content about people with resources not being kind and generous, and people without resources uh, being so selfless. That song has always really resonated with me. And I sure as fuck didn't write it.
Dude, you wrote the bass lines.
I wrote the bass line. Yeah, it came fairly fully formed, and then I did my thing on it.
We do some crazy shit in this album with the bass and guitar talking to each other, especially when we do solo parts or musical parts. Like the bass is doing a lot of work, and like soloing parts, like playing guitar parts that I'm playing as we're soloing, you know what I mean? And it's really interesting, and it's really cool because like in the middle of Help Me Get Around, especially like the bass will be doing the holding it down with the chorus riff for the solo, and then will join me in this like chord we're doing, and then we'll do these blues slides with me when we're ending the solo. And it's just so the dynamics of like how much the bass is changing within that solo is crazy, because I'm only changing once, whereas the bass is changing 3 times. You know what I mean?
Right. And kind of to speak to your question, Ahmed, like, I've discussed this with Ahmed before, but my uh generally I feel like my job as a bass player in bands in general is to find interesting spaces to add character to songs. And so when I'm able to do that effectively, when I'm able to take the bass songs that Ahmed comes in with, and become inspired by them, and say, this song, like we're starting from a good foundation, but I need to build up the walls. I need to build up the structure that makes the house, to use the house, to continue with the house analogy, to make the house complete. That's what I feel like my job is. So as far as the song that I'm most proud of, I would say it's a toss up between Burn Me and Help. I think in Burn Me, I did a really good job of what I just described, taking the bass song, the bass BASE song, and and weaving a bass line together that complemented the song and made it better without fundamentally changing what it was. And then in Help, I just do a sick bass solo. So that's cool.
Yeah,
Solo.
Help's bass solo is amazing, because like like I said, Help is like kind of influenced by the Beatles lyrically, and Nirvana and the Pixies for like the music. And at the end, there's a lot of space that was left on purpose for a bass solo, because I just have never heard a grunge song like a Pixies song that has a bass solo. And that's what I kind of wanted to hear. And John, he took that, and honestly, I listened to that bass solo like a lot, you know what I mean, just from how like beautiful it is. And it's like really cool to have like a band member who's like contributing that much to the point where like the song now feels like I'm listening to something beyond myself. You know what I mean? Like it's not just me anymore, and it makes me so excited because like I'll hear the bass and I'll hear the drums, and like again I want to give a shout out to Taylor, Josh, but also Aiden who's playing with us right now. Like when he's doing some stuff and like when he's like giving us ideas, it really inspires us to like, okay, maybe we'll do it like this, maybe we'll do it like that. And now once the record comes out, I'm looking for the things they're doing. Like I know them. Like we were listening to a song together and he's like, dude, you know the bass part. Like I know that when the kick drum goes like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And it's because I'm enjoying the songs. And it's not because I'm singing. It's not because I'm playing guitar or because I wrote the song. It's because of their parts. And I'm so excited for people to hear like the parts that John and Aiden are going to add to the third album. And when they hear the second album, I hope they can't wait as much as I can to like hear what they're going to put on the third album, because it's already really special. We've already worked on about 4 or 5 songs from the third album, and it's really, really, really special. So I'm excited for everyone to see that.
Well,
I will give like just a couple of shout outs real quick.
yeah.
To Cielo, Aiden's band, Sheesh Mahal, Jasmine. Like go through our Instagram followers, dude. You'll see a lot of cool bands. Like go listen to them. And Treasures, Loser Soup, Moms with Bangs, like so many bands. Like I don't want to forget anyone, so please, like so many female bands, so many queer bands, so many black bands, white bands, like Asian bands. You'll everything. We've got
Shout out to all my favorite black bands for sure.
Look, you couldn't give Ahmed an award because he'd forget somebody.
Did and I will say also, like, go out and explore, expand your horizons, dude. If you don't listen to hip hop, go listen to hip hop. If you've never heard Egyptian music, go listen to Ahmed Munib and Kulthum and Abdul Halim. If you've never listened to Indian music, go listen to Ali Akbar Khan and like Ravi Shankar and like so many. Like there's so many places to be influenced from. And like we're talking to mainly people who are listening to metal music and rock music and punk music, so they know a lot of the people we're talking about, but there's so much more that we're even gonna forget to say. Just go expand your horizon. It's a really cool thing. It makes our practices and our relationship fun because we were always exploring new shit together, listening to new recommendations from John, from me, from Aiden, like and check out Aiden's other band, Cielo.
I always hear people say, man, there's nothing new out there. There's always new music out there. You just haven't found it yet. You know, it's like there's bands that I find from the 60s and 70s that I never heard of, and that's new music to me because I've never heard it, you know. Just because they've been around doesn't mean it's not new music, you know. There's a lot of good shit out there. You gotta find it, you know.
Dude, I didn't know about No Effects and Meshuggah or Mastodon. Like I didn't know about Meshuggah until I met John. And wow. I didn't know about Mastodon until I met Taylor, our old drummer. I didn't know about a lot of bands because once the internet came out, like there's no more MTV, there's no more music there's no more records, there's no more tapes. So it was really hard for me to find out these things. And just coming here, I'm discovering so much metal and so much rock and so much new like hip hop that I didn't really know about. And it's sick, dude. Like, I urge everyone to just go out instead of going out and like focusing on the memes and like shit like that. There's so much art out there that'll just like blow your mind. You know what I mean?
For sure. You know, consume less AI slop, you know, and consume more of the beautiful things that that your fellow human has created.
Absolutely, dude. Go to shows, go see movies,
Yeah.
because like these are the things that bind us together and that tell our story. We're storytellers, you know what I mean?
Like the
all of us
Force.
are storytellers. And like these stories are what tell us about not just our mistakes from the past, but they tell us about our future. You know what I mean? Like one of my favorite things is Star Trek, and because it shows a world where Earth has become paradise. And that's the reason, that's one of Goof's like when all the songs that all the things I complain about in Goof, and all the things I want to be fixed, a huge inspiration for that is Star Trek. It, like a reason that makes me write these things and not give up is because someone already wrote a show that showed us that we got it together. And if that person can imagine it, we can do it. And there's so much we can do. It's just go out and support each other, go out and like enjoy each other's stuff, enjoy each other's company, go out to restaurants. There's artists that make food, you know what I mean? And they're just at a small pizza place or like at a burger shop, and they make the best shit. So go out, explore, and like have fun, hang out with your friends, watch movies. You know what I mean?
That's the thing too.
Shout
Art
out
isn't
spoons.
anything that anybody makes with their hands or makes with anything is art, you know, like food and fucking everything, you know.
Definitely, dude.
I mean, guys, we could probably talk for like 27 more hours if we really wanted to, you know. I mean, it's been cool. I got you guys have any, well, tell me all your plugs again.
At Goof the Band on Instagram is kind of our central social media presence. We're planning on releasing the album on Bandcamp. But right now, you can find our singles under the band name Goof on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Deezer, YouTube Music.
Yeah.
Well,
all them shits.
We have links to these things, like to Spotify and to the album and to our Bandcamp in our link tree. So go to if you follow Goof's Instagram, you'll know when we have a show. You'll know when we have a single coming out. You'll know when we make another website. We used to have a website, but we've deactivated, and we're gonna make another one. But then you'll know when we have a Patreon. That's another thing we're trying to experiment with. I hope if we have, like, for example, if we have a huge following on Patreon, not even huge, like just a good amount that that makes putting things up for free worth it, why not? You know what I mean? If we have 50,000 fans, and each one of those fans is paying us $1, that's $50,000 a month. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't we put all our work on there for free? Why wouldn't we constantly be grinding? Why wouldn't we even sometimes do like a free show for our local homies? You know what I mean? Like we would do so much with that. You know what I mean? And it would be paying for our lives. So follow us at Goof the Band, so you can follow all of our, like, the evolution of not just our band but our lives. You know what I mean?
And the last question is from the person who knows you again. They have this question for you.
Local bands.
If you were to put on a show, what local bands acts would you put on your lineup?
None. Nah.
Fuck them all.
We've played with so many local bands. Like, again, if you go through our Instagram, you're gonna see so many great bands. Like, we just named a bunch of them. I just don't want to forget anyone, or for someone to think these are like our homies and our friends, and like we have so many of them. I can't really pick. You know what I mean? Like my coworkers, all of them are great musicians. You know what I mean? Electronic music, Indian music, and like just our friends, our close friends are in great bands. So I can't really. That's a hard question for me. If this was Drink Champs, I would drink. Here, I'll drink a sip of Red Bull for this.
There you go.
But yeah, follow at Goof the Band, and we post a lot of, like, we leave our shows up there, so you'll see the bands that we've played with and stuff. And if you're asking me what local lineup I would put together, it's right there. You know what I mean? Like all these.
Yeah, like we have put that lineup together before many times.
yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I would say just follow us at Goof the Band. Keep following the band. Support us when you can. We're planning now on doing tours because we want to expand our audience. We want to connect to more people. These ideas deserve to be out there. Like, we put so much work into these ideas to make them into songs and to make them into full-fledged art. And worked with so many great artists. At Art Tits, made the first album cover. At Look Snatcher, made the second album cover. There's like a lot of like artists that we work with, and like Atomic Garden, all these people like support. Like, when you support us, you're supporting these things. You know what I mean? Like you're making everyone's name heard even more. And the beautiful thing is, like, all these people came together to put these small ideas, like, don't be racist, be cool to your friends, like, don't typecast people, like, don't be homophobic, like, you will survive something bad, you can get over addiction. All these like ideas were worked on by so many people to make it songs and art form. So I hope people appreciate that, and we want to spread that message out there even more. So we're gonna try as much as possible to keep trying to play outside, go to LA, go to Nashville, go to Austin, go everywhere we can. Just be patient with us and follow us at Goof the Band, and we'll make it happen.
Shout out Rusty Spoons.
I love your dog.
Rusty Spoons says hello, and yeah, Rusty Spoons. He's the lad. He love you too. Look how good that boy is. Look how good that boy is.
You cannot love that face, you know.
Yeah, well, we're telling everyone to try to get on your podcast, man, because like,
I appreciate it, man. I'll take anybody. I love talking to people, man. It's fun.
Yeah,
hey, you'll even take out a lemon. Nah. No, those are.
This is a message for Ryan and add a lemon.
I'm telling him talking trash. No, I'm kidding.
We're coming for you, Lemon. You can use this promo.
I'm talking to Cameron.
Cameron, yeah, the singer and guitar player, yeah.
And then I'm gonna talk to Sean with Dead River Rebels.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna talk with them.
Or practice space at Secret Studios.
Oh hell yeah, I really enjoy their stuff too. They got some good stuff going on there.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, gentlemen, it's been a fun conversation. I enjoyed my time. I hope you guys you guys had a good time as well.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much for having us. It's been a pleasure.
Always
and an honor,
man. Oh yeah, thank you. Well, guys, till next time, man. Peace. I can't even do that shit. Hell yeah.